Hello and welcome to this week's episode on Ireland's Atlantic Adventures. Today's going to be a wee bit different. Normally we're out in the Atlantic Ocean on jet skis having some mighty crack. But today it's getting into winter, so what we're going to do is pop into Gavin here, one of the members of the Ireland Atlantic Adventure page, and he's going to talk to us about the Seadoo RXTX. Going to talk about the pros and the cons of that jet ski and what it can do for us. It's getting a bit chilly, so let's jump inside nice and fast. Let's go.
We're here in Eagles. Gavin's here, my good old buddy. How are you?
How you doing?
Good to see you. Likewise. What are we doing?
Today we're going to have a look at the 2020 Seadoo RXTX.
Cool.
It's actually a machine of my own that I got early in the season. We'll talk you through some of the features and some of the experience we've had, good and bad, with it.
Cool.
So if you want to pop over
Let's
here,
go.
we'll have a quick look at it. So basically we've got, this is the green option. It's a 2020 model. I did actually have some extras put onto this when I ordered it. The extras that come with this one that I chose was to have this BRP speaker upgrade. Highly recommend it. It's very, very good. It's clear when you're riding at high speed. It's plenty of bass in it as well, so it's something that I've actually had on all my skis since they launched the speaker option on them. It connects up to the Bluetooth, very good connectivity on it, and like I said, the sound system, the sound quality is very, very good.
Awesome.
And something that I would highly recommend to buy. Okay, the extras on this ski as well, one of the other options that I went for, if you want to just have a pop around here, is the USB charger. Very handy for when you're out at sea and your battery's getting low. You can just see down here, this is where we have the USB charger.
Yeah.
Does have the protective cover on it as well to keep the salt out, but so it's very handy for riding, particularly when we go on long tours. Down on the west coast in Ireland, we tend to do a lot of the long tours where they can be 50-60 miles long, and obviously it's good to have your battery on your phone, because we do use the sat nav on the phone as well. So as we all know, them iPhones and Androids, they can be quite hungry on the battery. So,
For sure.
it's good, yeah. I'll just give you another feature as well, which I ordered with this ski. We've quite a deep storage compartment on the front of these RXTs. And if you look in here, we have this basket here, the front basket. So you have three compartments, one big one here and two smaller ones. This is very handy for when you're out at water, when you're trying to get your stuff, because as you can see inside, the bin is quite deep. So when you're leaning over, it can be quite awkward to do. So we just have things that you need to hand inside these baskets here, so that it's only cheap. I think this was only around £50 when I bought it, and it's very, very helpful because your stuff doesn't get thrown around and tossed around. Like over here on the west coast of Ireland, we do actually ride in very rough water a lot of the time, and as you can imagine, with stuff inside the storage compartment, it does get tossed around quite a lot, so this is very good. The Q-Link features on the ski, so it's very good for transport and stuff. There is like a cooler box that we buy, and you get the fuel canister as well. So again, for when we're going away on these long journeys, we can carry extra fuel, and it's very, very safe. They're very sturdy. It's an easy thing to use for when you're fueling up out at sea, you know, because like I said before, the distances we can travel, we can sometimes go from Kilkee, that's our hotspot that we do all our jet skiing from. We'll travel as far as to the Aran Islands, you know, down to Loop Head, round the coast there, and as far as Kilrush. So we do, it's a peace of mind carrying the extra fuel on board. And again, we have the chiller box, which is handy for when we get the hot weather, a few beers and a picnic on board, stuff like that.
Nice.
On this one as well, we just have a look here. I went for the upgraded alloy wheels. It's just, to be honest, it's more of a kind of gimmick, really, if anything. But it just looks nice in the trailer. I think these were around £180 extra. The good thing about it is that you're not going to get any of your usual rusting around it that you get on your normal steel radials that you get with it. So it is a nice feature. These are like a beach tire as well, so it's quite wider than your normal trailer. If you're launching on a soft beach, it does help not to have the trailer to bog down and sink. And you know, I find towing with them as well, they're really good. They're fairly stable. This particular ski, I opted for the Extreme roller bed trailer as well on it. I always find that the Extreme trailers, from having skis down the years, they've always been the best for me. They don't bend, they don't rust as much. They're a very good sturdy trailer, and I just can't fault them at all. So every time I order my ski, I will always opt to have the Extreme roller trailer. This particular ski, as you can see, it is a big ski. It's a 3-seater jet ski. It's 300 horsepower supercharged, there's plenty of power there. I myself was always a fan of riding the RXP version, which was the 2-seater version. And I was convinced to try and go for the RXT. Now the reason I went for this one is when they changed this model, they modified the handlebar setup. And I just think they made it look a bit more sleeker with all these options on here. They also widened the body of it, which made it a lot more stable. So when you can actually stand up on the ski in the footwell, and it won't tilt over. You can actually mount the ski from the side, and the ski won't go over as well. So it's a very, very stable machine. Another feature that they changed, which I really like as well, even though it's a 3-seater version, we can convert this to 1 seat. This back seat here, as you can see, is removable. And you can see it creates a big platform. Now this platform I've actually used myself for doing a bit of fishing. It's really stable to stand up on, casting your rod off at the back. And also if you do take just two of you out on the ski, this seat here will sit at the back on here, so you can face each other if you want to stop up.
Social distancing on a jet ski.
Yeah. So
wow.
It's handy for sitting up and just having a rest, and you're facing each other and they're not looking at the back of your head all the time.
Sometimes it's better to look at the back of someone's head.
It depends who you have on the ski. One other thing here with this ski as well, at the back here, they do have the option if you want to have the ski pole. It's
for the waking, is it?
Yeah, wakeboarding skiing, towing some of the toys and stuff. So it's basically this little compartment on here. If you can just pan down there, you might see it. This just opens up, and the ski pole adjuster goes in here, and it is telescopic, so it does ride up and down. It's a nice feature. I don't actually have it on here because I don't tend to do a lot of towing with this ski, but Seadoo have thought about that. I think it's a really good option. This is also a good porthole for when you're flushing your ski out. We tend to have the hose on a very fine setting, and we'll drop it in here and just wash all around there, so any salt water that does get taken in can be flushed out.
Cool.
Okay, I'll give you a look inside the engine department as well. So it's the Rotax 300 horsepower engine, as you can see. This particular machine at the moment, I think I got the machine around June, and there's probably 41 hours up on it now at the moment. You can see there's quite a lot of shine on the engine. Basically, once the ski is washed out and flushed down with a fine hose, I do tend to treat it all with the XPS Seadoo spray. I must stress that the XPS is the best that you're going to get in terms of the treatment spray oil for these. We don't go down the route of using WD-40 because that has been known to swell the rubbers, so it's not very good to spray in the engine bay and when you have a lot of hoses and stuff like that. So the Seadoo oil, it's Seadoo recommended and branded. It is the oil that we use, and we've never had a problem with it. So I think that's something that we should be using. Every Seadoo owner should be using when they're maintaining and flushing out their ski.
Tell me this, Gavin. Would you use lubricant after every trip out in the sea?
Yeah, more or less every wash. I mean, it's good practice to do it anyway, but particularly on the sea, we know how strong salt water can be, no matter how small you leave it on. It's so aggressive on all the components of the engine. And as you can see inside the engine bay, there's so much electronics. There's a lot of metal in there and stuff like that. So we do give it a light flush and then dress the whole engine and you know, the switches and stuff all in that XPS oil, and it will drive out the moisture and give it a good protection. So that's something that every user should do it. The guys who run on freshwater, obviously they're not going to need to do that, but where we ride, the seas are rough, we get big, 4-meter swells, so you do tend to get a lot of salt water that will be ingested inside. But
we love that though.
Yeah, of course we do. Makes it all good fun. So the other features as well that this ski has, which I was very impressed with, they have a slow mode feature. So as we know, when you're docking your ski, I think these will cruise along at around 5 or 6 miles an hour when you're coming into the dock. We normally just pull on the reverse handle to slow it down. However, this ski does have the feature where it has the slow mode. So there's 5 different levels, and as you're coming into the dock, you can press the button on side, it'll come up on your screen, you can select which speed that you want to bring in the ski. So it's very, very handy, particularly if you're docking the ski in a congested area, that you can just bring the ski in very slow and safe. So it is a good feature that Seadoo have added into it.
Cool.
One of the other features as well, which I do like on it, is the cruise control mode. Now, basically, it's the same as a car. You can set your speed, and then once you set your cruise control, the ski will work off of the GPS and keep the ski at that speed, which is quite handy, because what you'll tend to find is if you're riding long distances, you can get cramp from your fingers being in the same position. With the cruise control, once you set it, you can pull the handle straight in and keep it there, so it's a lot more easier on your hand for riding long distances. It also does have a range on this one as well, which the 19 model didn't have. So it will tell you how long range you've got left in the tank.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's a nice feature. Again, it's all to do with how heavy your right hand is. But I think the range on these is around 70 miles if they're driven, you know, responsibly and eco. It does have the eco mode function on it, which I think will only allow it to go to around 31, 32 miles an hour. A very good feature for us if we're doing the long distance rides again, to get maximum fuel efficiency on it.
So if you've got any questions for me or Gavin, please do pop them in the comments down below. And we hope you've enjoyed this week's video here on Ireland's Atlantic Adventures YouTube channel. Please do give us a like, comment and even subscribe to help grow this great community. And also, if you'd like to keep tabs on us and check in behind the scenes to see how much fun we're having, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ireland's Atlantic Adventures. Until next video guys, Slán go fóill.